At 1:22 in the morning, a security camera across the street is filming a quiet beach town in Florida. In 12 seconds, half of a 13-story building will fall out of the sky. 98 people are asleep inside. And here is the part that should stay with you. The paperwork describing exactly what was wrong with this building already existed. It was almost 3 years old. The money to fix it had finally been approved. The repairs were scheduled. The building ran out of time first. Every story in this series has one thing in common. Someone saw the disaster coming, someone tried to warn them, and somewhere a decision was made to look away. This is Champlain Towers South. The building went up in 1981, right on the beachfront of Surfside, Florida. 13 stories of condos, a pool deck resting over an underground garage, and buried in the original plans, a mistake. The concrete deck was poured flat. Rain had nowhere to drain. So it sat there, year after year, salt water soaking into the concrete, quietly eating the steel inside. In October 2018, the building hired an engineer to inspect it. His name was Frank Morabito, and his report is public. You can read it today. He found major structural damage to the concrete slab under the pool deck, cracked columns in the garage, crumbling concrete. And he wrote one sentence that reads very differently now. Failure to replace the waterproofing in the near future will cause the concrete deterioration to expand exponentially. The repairs were priced at about $9 million, and then the arguing started. Owners pushed back, meetings dragged, years passed. The estimate grew to $12 million, then 16. The cracks in the garage grew with it. Look at the drawing. This crack was photographed 3 years before the end. Someone stood in that garage and pointed a camera at the warning. In April 2021, the board president wrote a letter to every resident. She was asking them to finally pay for the repairs, $15 million. And she told them the truth. The damage in the garage has gotten significantly worse, she wrote. The concrete deterioration is accelerating. By then, the roof work had actually started. The concrete was next on the schedule. Federal investigators spent 5 years taking this building apart, piece by piece. Their final report came out just weeks ago, and it contains the most chilling detail of this entire story. Deep in the garage, where 2 columns met the pool deck, the connections had already begun to fail, nearly 3 weeks before the collapse. The building wasn't standing, and then suddenly falling. It was falling in slow motion for 20 days, while people parked their cars underneath it. On the night of June 24th, 2021, at 1:22 in the morning, the pool deck dropped into the garage. 7 minutes later, the middle of the tower followed it down. 12 seconds. 98 people never woke up. Now the honest part. The engineer never wrote the word collapse. He gave them no date. Nobody had one. And the board members were not villains. They were neighbors, arguing about money, the way every building argues about money. That is what makes the federal report so uncomfortable. It says the warning was written down, the damage was visible, the failure was measurable. And quote, no system existed to read those signals. No law forced anyone to connect the dots. So no one did. The report says the building failed. The evidence says something colder. The building announced it. The plans to save Champlain Towers South were finished. The money was approved. The contractors were booked. All of it was sitting in writing when the tower came down on top of it. Warned, October 8th, 2018. It happened. June 24th, 2021. 990 days. This drawing stays unfinished. Somewhere, right now, someone is being ignored. The memo before the fire. The call before the crash. If you want to hear those warnings, subscribe and tell me in the comments which ignored warning should I open next.